Hello, my podcast pro. Welcome back to Podcasting for Real Estate Pros, where agents learn to attract clients, build trust, and stand out with the power of podcasting. Let's dive in. Okay, today we're going to talk about guests. Inviting random guests just to fill an episode, that's a hard pass. You're not building a talk show, you're building a brand, and every guest should move the needle forward and build trust, growth, or both. Hey, it's your host, Sue Willoughby, and today we're talking about guest strategy, not guest chaos, because bringing people into your podcast isn't about just a good conversation, although that can be fun and entertaining. It's about making a connection, building credibility, and growing your influence in the right way. So why do guests matter? Well, strategic guests can help you in the following ways. They can help you tap into new audiences. They can help you build your authority by association with that guest. They can also add variety without you burning out by doing a bunch of solo episodes. They can also strengthen you in your local network and local market. But this only works when you stop thinking about guests as content fillers or afterthoughts, and when you start seeing them as collaborators in your visibility and in your local market. Here's some examples of different types of guests that will help you build your brand. The first type is industry experts. Now, these are people that you work with and that are part of your team of vendors on a regular basis. So any lenders that you work with, any inspectors or staging professionals and appraisers, bring them on your show, and then they can share insights to your audience that will help educate your audience and also make you look like a boss. So for example, you invite a home inspector on. They will tell your audience what a home inspection really tells you and also what it doesn't. Maybe things to look out for in a home inspection and things to walk away from if this turns up. Also, if you have a lender on, they can talk about credit scores and how they actually work and what all of those things mean in terms of the financing aspect of buying a home. This helps to build trust. It also helps you connect with people. You're connecting your clients with these professionals. Also, here's the pro tip. When this episode goes out, it's also going to be shared with those industry experts network. So this is going to boost your exposure. The other thing that you can do is another group of people are local influencers and business owners. This is really kind of fun because it gets you out in your community, it gets you out in your neighborhood, and you can feature certain businesses like your local coffee shop or yoga studio or a nonprofit or something like that that's going to, let's say someone's moving to your area that they don't know anything about the area. And all of a sudden they're seeing business owners and they're like, hey, that's really awesome. I'm going to need a new dentist, or I'm going to need a new hair salon, or I'm going to need whatever. So when you have these business owners on or local influencers on your show, you shine a light on the community. You shine a light on these local businesses. And then they share the episode with their people, and that gets some new ears on your podcast. Plus, you're also deepening your roots in your community and in your neighborhood, and that will help you build your farm area. Clients are other people that you can have on your show. Yes, really. Bring on past clients. Let them tell their story about working with you and what it felt like. So, for example, they may be like, well, we almost didn't buy a house, but here's what changed our mind. And then they can tell a story about how it was great to work with you and how you helped them get through the process that may have been super scary for them. Or maybe you have a listing client and they're like, we sold our house above asking price with zero stress. That would be a great episode and would also get you more listing clients. So nothing sells like social proof, and social proof is going to come from your clients. It's like testimonials. So let's talk about how you actually get guests on your show. You don't need to beg. You need to lead them. You need a short, casual DM or email. Hey, I'm Sue Willoughby. I host a podcast for first-time homebuyers, and I'd love to have you on to share your expertise on lending. Super chill, 20 minutes max. If you're interested, please reply. Something like that. Super easy. You want them to feel like, hey, I think you're cool. I think you could add something to my audience. And it'll also give you an opportunity to spotlight your business, your professional, whatever it is that you want them to spotlight. So hardly anyone is going to say no to free PR, right? It's an easy conversation to have. You also want to let them know how being on the podcast, they can leverage the episode. Tell them that you're going to promote it. You're going to tag them in every post. You're going to send them clips from the episode that they can then post in their social media. You'll send them some graphics and some information. They can put it in their email. You're going to put it in your email. Give them some tools to share the episode. Make it easy for them. That way you'll get more traction and credibility. Encourage them to share it with their mailing list. Or if they have a website, they can post a link to the whole episode up there. It would be super great because that way, like I said, you're going to get in front of their clients, their audience, and then those people are going to be curious about the show. And they may want to end up being a guest or they may end up being a client of yours. You just never know. But it gives you an extended reach. And be sure to put their name in the title. Whatever the episode is, make sure it's got a really good search engine optimization, SEO, and include their name. So if somebody's searching for them or searching for a lender or whatever, then those things are going to come up. They're going to pop up in the search. So to be clear, you don't need famous guests. If you know some famous people, great, but you don't need famous guests. What you need are intentional guests that are part of your community, that are part of your ecosystem, that will provide value to your listeners, and that will also extend your reach. The right guest brings new people into your world, makes you look like a pro, and builds trust with your audience that you already have. Coming up next, we're going to shift gears a little bit into evergreen power. How you can turn every episode into multiple pieces of content that market for you 24/7, 365. Until then, curate with intention, connect with purpose, and keep showing up like the expert I know that you are. Okay, are you ready to stop goofing around and actually launch your podcast? If so, my course, Podcasting for Real Estate Pros, is now open. Use the promo code LAUNCH at checkout for some special bonuses. The link is waiting for you in the show notes.